Hey guys, Bobby Galfo back again with another video. We have a very special guest today, Nick Melillo from Foundation Cigars. Welcome, Nick.
Bobby, great to be here. It's a pleasure. Good to see you. We finally get to hang out a little bit and chat about cigars.
Absolutely. We are smoking the new Wise Man today, which we are going to be
Yes,
promoting month long on cigars.com. So we're very excited for this collaboration.
beautiful.
Yeah, so I just want to dive into and do a couple Q&A stuff with you if
Sure.
you have some time.
Yes,
So,
sir.
being that you've been in the cigar industry since, I mean, how long? Since you were in diapers, what really made you start your own cigar company?
I've been in the industry, man, since '96. It's crazy. Time is flying. So I started in retail in a cigar shop in Connecticut in '96 while I was just starting university. So that's how I first got my foot in the door in the industry. So after working retail, then I moved to Nicaragua in 2003. Ran the Drew Estate factory for almost 12 years. So I felt like I built up a lot of experience to finally set off on my own and start my own company. So it was actually a few different things that led me to opening my own company. And the FDA was definitely one of the driving forces because at that time, in around 2012, 13, there was a lot of talk about not being able to start your own company after certain dates. So there was talk that the FDA would implement a date, and then after that date, there could be no new brands introduced. So when I started thinking about that, the thought of not being able ever to start my own company or to work on my own brands was a bit daunting. So since that point in time, I was just working on the blends on the tobacco side. I wasn't really involved on the branding side of things. So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. All my sides of my family all were entrepreneurs. So it was tough, man. It took me like close to 2 years to make the decision to finally
Wow.
leave, Drew Estate and start my own thing because I had such a great situation at Drew Estate. I had become the vice president of international operations by that time. Had an amazing team in Nicaragua. They become my family. So it was a tough one, but I knew I had to make the plunge and spread my wings. So I started Foundation in 2015.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story, man. You
Yeah,
know,
it's been quite the journey.
absolutely. It sure sounds like it. We're huge fans of your stuff over here, and keep on keeping on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Being that we're smoking the new Wise Man here, what's really the story behind the Wise Man line, if you don't mind me asking?
So, it began as as the Wawense, which many people know as my first brand that I launched, which was my homage to Nicaragua, which Wawense means the wise man. Um, so the Wawense, I started in 2015. It was the only brand. It was my beginning brand, and I obviously knew from a marketing standpoint it would be a mouthful for a lot of people.
Definitely a little
That's a
tongue
tough
twister.
word. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
distinctly Nicaraguan. So even if you speak Spanish, it's a difficult word. But at the time, no one really knew who I was, Bobby. So I was targeting actually a small group of hardcore cigar guys that knew kind of what I was doing behind the scenes, and also a small group of shops that knew, what I was doing. So over the past 10 years, the brand, it's done well. We started amazing, and it was like the cornerstone of really a foundation. But as you know, it's a tough one on the business side from a pronouncing standpoint. So after 10 years, the brand hadn't just grown, that specific brand Wawense, like our other brands. Our other brands have been kind of growing in leaps and bounds. So I made the difficult decision to discontinue Wawense and then just move forward with the Wise Man. And then I also moved manufacturing to Pepin Garcia. So I've known Pepin Garcia from my father for I actually met him the first year I moved to Nicaragua in 2003. He had just moved to Nicaragua. So I was a 24-year-old kid meeting Pepin for the first time. It was, I mean, unbelievable. And at that
He's a
point,
legend.
legend and just learning. I've been fortunate to learn from so many amazing, craftsmen. So that opportunity arose, and they don't make cigars with a lot of people, so I couldn't pass that one up. So I decided to really reblend the Wise Man with Pepin and call it the Wise Man Corojo, which is the box that you have in front of you, and then also the Maduro, which I'm smoking here.
Nice.
So I then pay tribute to, if you see the symbolism on the box, I'm really obsessed with this whole story of the Ark of the Covenant. So the branding has more to do with kind of that story of the Ark of the Covenant. Um,
Love it.
yeah. So you know, I get into the stories a lot.
Oh, it's great. It's great. So was the decision going from Aganorsa to My Father more so a personal decision, or just because you liked how they blended it better over there, or what
It
was really the
was
deciding factor on that?
To me, it was just the timing. I had a great relationship with the guys at Aganorsa. We had an amazing, run together for 10 years. The cigars, absolutely incredible. But I felt like moving into the next 10 years, I wanted to make a change, and the opportunity with Pepin came about, which is an opportunity that doesn't come around a lot. So I felt
No.
like it was that time to change it up. Although another very difficult decision, because all these brands are like my children. But I thought moving into the next decade of foundation, I wanted to shift it up a little bit and work with some new tobaccos. That's the thing. I've never worked with Pepin and his tobacco. He grows all his own tobaccos, his own farm. So it was kind of something new, different, and exciting for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, we're excited. We're excited about it over here as well.
nice.
And with the new blends, what type of smoker would you say each is for? Does is the Corojo more for someone else, Maduro more so for a different type of smoker? These novice smokers, experience. What would you say?
Yeah, so Bobby, with all my blends, I'm trying to create unique blends, right, for each brand. Is I don't want to create something that's the same as something else. So I think these are really unique within our portfolio because I think they're a bit more nuanced than our other blends. We're kind of known for our tabernacle, which is
Hmm.
really richer, full bodied, yet balanced, but they're richer blends. The new Wise Men, I needed something in that true kind of that medium bodied category, because everything else is kind of really more towards that heavy body, kind of rich flavor profile.
Yes.
So for me, that Corojo that you have there, I hate to say it sometimes, but for me, it's my most Cuban-esque blend. To me, they remind me of what Cubans used to take. Right now, Cubans, when I smoke a Cuban, they're just too light for me. For
Hmm.
being accustomed to Nicaraguan tobaccos for the past 20 years,
Oh yeah.
Cuban tobaccos, they're just very floral. They're very light. Wise Man Corojo reminds me of what the Cubans I smoked back in the '90s. They had a little bit more body strength. They had that real cedar notes, the spice, but without being overwhelming on the palate. So that I would put in that nice medium bodied, really Cuban-esque cedar spice flavor profile, nuanced, not overwhelming on the palate. And then that Maduro is going to be a little bit richer, a little bit heavier, nice little sweetness to it. But again, not overwhelming on the palate.
That's excellent. Excellent.
And they're unique in the tobaccos that they use, right? It's something that's very exciting about these blends, especially for me as a blender, is they're using tobaccos from really the three major growing regions in Nicaragua, Esteli, of course. Then you go north, you get to Condega, the Condega Valley, and then closer to Honduras, the Jalapa Valley. So
Oh, wow.
you have tobaccos from all three regions in the blends, and I really, again, they're more nuanced, but I think you get a nice transition in flavor as you kind of smoke through the cigar. And they use double binders, which is interesting,
Oh,
which
wow.
is something new for me, which is the style that Pepin uses. So there's two binders, so Esteli and Jalapa. So what that does add is also a nice transition. Whereas Esteli is a little bit fuller bodied, Jalapa has a little bit more of a sweetness. So there's kind of a nice transition through the blend.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did not know about the double binder. Is this so this is a first for you on a foundation line, huh?
Yeah, it's unique. It's different. Every factory has their own style in how they bunch. And typically I'm accustomed to blending where I use, one binder and then I build my blend from there. Whereas the Cuban style is sometimes traditionally that double binder technique.
Okay, wow. Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So, Nick, one of the things that I've always wondered, and I'm sure some of your viewers will also wonder, what is your favorite line within Foundation Cigars, if you don't mind me asking?
Bobby, it's a tough one, man, because they literally are my. It's like picking your favorite child. Um, you know, if I have to choose, all of my lines are cigars that I would smoke, of course,
Yep.
or I wouldn't be putting them out. And I do like different blends at different times. I generally, if I, have to choose, I definitely lean towards that Connecticut broadleaf, that tabernacle, is definitely,
Yeah.
one if I
Coming
had to
back.
choose. I have to be honest, if you look at my desk, I have this kind of plexiglass over my wood desk. So I put my bands under
Oh,
the plexi so you can see them. And right now I'm looking at pretty much all Oxum bands. So
ooh,
I'm
okay.
smoking a lot of Oxum and these new Wise Man. So as of recent, I've been kind of transitioning in and out of Oxum and Wise Man. So I kind of do that. I'll have weeks where I kind of just go in and out of smoking, particular things. So it's been the past couple of weeks, Oxum and the new Wise Man, but then I'll switch up and I'll just get on an Olmec kick, or I'll be smoking Charter Oaks. But if I'm forced to choose, I definitely that tabernacle Havana seed is definitely one of my tops.
I'd put that up there for me too. And
Yeah,
thank you for answering that question. I know it's super tricky, hard having to choose one, but figured I'd
yeah,
ask you.
yeah. It's tough. I think guys like different. Every blend has a rhyme and a reason. And it
Of
has a
course.
rhyme and a reason within the portfolio. I really tried to approach it from a tobacconist standpoint. Is if you only had foundation in the humidor, do you have something for everybody coming in that door? Not everybody likes the same thing. So do you have kind of that range of blends for, people in the market? And I think, if you look at the portfolio from foundation, from price to blends, I try to, kind of cover that whole gamut.
Yeah, and you guys definitely do. You guys definitely do that very well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And just before we wrap it up, anything new and exciting planned for future under foundation?
We're gearing up for some annual fall releases, which is the Tabernacle Night Commander, which is going to be actually shipping later this month. That's a special 6 3/4 by 52 Perfecto that I do every year. And that is actually a special project that I do for charity.
Oh, that's
And
great.
then we also have our annual release of the Highclere Castle Signature in November, which is our Egyptian box that we did for King Tut's anniversary. So King Tut's discovery is in November. So we decided to do an annual release after the 100th year discovery. The Highclere Castle had tapped me to do a 100-year anniversary box for King Tut's tomb. It was such a hit. The box came out and we replicated an exact box found in King Tut's tomb. And it was such a hit that we decided to make an annual release. So we have those two products, which is great to really end the year. And then we're gearing up for Foundation 10-year anniversary next year. So
Oh, boy.
you'll most likely see something at the trade show in April and probably a summer release of our 10-year anniversary.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
That's some really exciting stuff we got there.
yeah, it's really the first time I've even talked about it. So
Hey, we
pretty
get a little
cool.
sneak peek over here at cigars.com.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that one. I can't believe it's 10 years is went by in a blink.
Yeah, man. And that's a
But
huge, huge stepping stone for you guys. So congratulations.
yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So Nick, what should consumers expect with the new Wise Man Corojo and Maduro lines?
As far as the flavor and blend, I mean, the new Wise Man Corojo, I would put again right in that middle, medium bodied. I get a lot of cedar, spice, kind of wood, kind of nutty characteristic. It's definitely a cigar for the connoisseur, the advanced smoker, and also for the novice, right? It's not going to be too overpowering for somebody that likes a milder cigar, but it's not going to be maybe too mild for somebody that likes, something more full bodied. And then you also have the Maduro. If you see amongst my lines, I always like to have a Corojo, a Claro version, a lighter version,
Yep.
and a Maduro version because, as you know, you have guys that won't smoke Maduros. I don't smoke Maduros, and then other guys that only smoke Maduros. So I always like to have those options. The Maduro is definitely a little richer. There's a little bit more body, a little bit more strength, but again, not overwhelming on the palate. So it's not. I think from Maduros, compared to the rest of our lines, it's definitely a milder Maduro compared to, say, the Tabernacles or the Olmecs or even the Oxum. So it's not overpowering. I mean, a lot of times people look at the Maduros, they think it's always very strong. It's not the
Yep.
case in the new Wise Man. Um, yeah, and I think just the product, alone, it's really clean. The branding is I love how it came out. Just the top of the box, the natural wood, the bands came out beautifully, so I'm super excited about this one.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited over here as well. And it's smoking great, man.
Nice. Yeah, how you finding it? It's not
Great.
overwhelming, right? Yeah.
Not overwhelming at all. It's perfect. Only thing I the
Nice.
only my only complaint is I don't have a cup of coffee next to me.
Dude, I gotcha.
Ah, there we go.
I gotcha. I've noticed that Wise Man, that Corojo, especially after coming back from the international trade show,
Mhm.
that's definitely a blend because these guys are all accustomed to smoking Cuban cigars.
Yeah.
And then they try that and it's right in their wheelhouse because some
Also,
of
they're
these
big
other
fans.
blends, yeah, some of these other, if you take something like a Tabernacle or, an Olmec, even for that market, it's too much.
Yep.
But that smoke, and I'm working with Pepin. They call him the Rey de los Habanos, the king of the Habanos.
Okay.
So his style, it's interesting to see him come from Cuba, grow up around Cuban tobacco, be a buncher, and then his love for Nicaraguan tobacco. You speak to him and it's like Nicaragua is the next level compared to Cuba in his eyes of just flavor. body complexity. So yeah, it's pretty cool to work with them.
All right, Nick, I just want to thank you once again for being a part of this interview.
My pleasure, Bobby. It's great to talk to you. I appreciate cigars.com and all you guys for all the support and your customers. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. And guys, keep an eye out for more foundation collaborations on our social media channels. And we have something in store with the News of Wise Man coming soon.